Aloha, hello everyone. This is Doug Davis with Crombie Realty, and I'm the broker in charge here. And it's another version of Ask Doug. And today I want to go over how to read a title report, sometimes called a preliminary title report, same thing. But what is it? What kind of document is this? What does it do? Is it important? How do you read them? How do you identify problems or red flags? How can you fix things? Or do you fix things? Or can you fix things? Can you cancel a contract after reading the preliminary title? Your purchase contract, purchase agreement, can you cancel that because of a prelim? And just to go, the bottom line is this is a buyer beware document. It's also in part the work order for the escrow company as to what they need to be aware of and what they need to clear when title is transferred. So let's just take first question and go over that. And what is it? So a preliminary title is a summary of the property. It's a summary of all of the things that are attached to the title. So you would have real property taxes, mortgages, different kinds of liens. Maybe you haven't paid your federal or state taxes, so you'd have state and federal tax liens attached to the property in an attempt to get the money when and if the property is ever sold. Maybe child support is attached. There'd be encroachments, if known. There'll be easements, recorded easements, and that sort of thing. So we'll go over most of those things. So is it important? Well, absolutely, because if you're a buyer and you're buying a property, you want to make sure that the mortgages from the other people are gone, cleared, and you don't have any responsibility. You want to make sure the real property taxes are paid. And again, that's what the job description is for the escrow company, to give you clear, marketable title in the property that you're about to buy. So how do you identify problems and red flags? Well, let me share the screen and show you what it is that what a title report is. So here's the beginning of it. It's for a certain property. It goes over real property taxes, mineral and water rights. That's interesting in that back in 1849, there was the gold rush in California, and the current king of Honolulu or Hawaiian Islands said, well, if there's gold, there might be gold here in Hawaii. There's not, but they didn't know that. But he said, if there's gold, silver, minerals, I want them. So the king put on a deed restriction saying that any mineral rights go to me. And that has transferred to the state of Hawaii. And so if any minerals are found here, which there really are not, they would go to the state of Hawaii. However, steam generation on the Big Island from the volcanoes, that would be state of Hawaii, because that's a so-called mineral. There's also extremely valuable minerals on the ocean floor, and we now have a 200-mile limit on the surrounds of the Hawaiian Islands, so that would go to the state. So, okay, let's go back. So that's what the mineral and water rights would be. Okay, and then number 3 here is declaration of restrictive covenants. Way back in the day, back here, 1936, they didn't have deed restrictions. They didn't have a land use ordinance or Department of Permitting and Planning that told you what you can or can't do on your own property. So they put deed restrictions in here. So they said they couldn't run hotels, they couldn't brew liquor and sell it. So that's a deed restriction in this area. In this case, this is Wilhelmina Rise. So you can't brew booze and sell it. Deed restriction. This number 4 is a restatement of number 3. Number 4 and 5 are easements for the electric company and for sewer. Access to public roadway. In this case, there's not. This was a flag lot going over the front of a co-owned property, so that was okay. And then anything, this is kind of a cover your ass thing for the escrow company and title company. It's anything that might be found in a archaeological study or survey, that sort of thing. Encroachments were recorded on the property and cured. And then there's information on a mortgage. So in this case, 1.75 mortgage, and a second one at 1.7. And here's a sewer easement and yet another mortgage. In this case, there were 3 properties involved. However, this was a red flag when we saw a mortgage of $6 million in addition to all those other ones. So all that had to be paid off. This was a multiple property, including other properties elsewhere on the island. So they just detached those. The debt still exists for those people less whatever they might have paid when they sold the property. And they want to make sure there's no renovation or construction in progress because the contractors have a lien right. So when you're ever in escrow, never start any construction. You have to wait until after, or you will have to wait 45 days for the lien right to come and go. So I want to get that. And then Schedule C is the descriptions of the property, the original royal patents here, and it goes to the last owner of record, and then this is called the meets and bound, where it describes the property from a surveyor. And in this case, there were 3 properties, so you'll see it over and over again. And then down here further, you've got real property tax. You can see one was delinquent, and that had to be paid during the escrow process, and so forth. So that's how you read it. That's what you go. Just read from paragraph to paragraph and see what you have. So can you cancel? Well, in the purchase agreement for Hawaii, the section G title is what covers that. So G1 preliminary title report, escrows to order it. And then the next paragraph, title, seller warrants that seller is the owner of property. Seller agrees to convey the property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances at closing, with warranties vesting marketable title in the buyer. So exceptions would be easements, like the sewer easement, Hawaiian Electric, that sort of thing. Conditions, reservations, restrictions now of record. If it's a condominium, it would be the condo documents and such. PUD, subdivision, homeowner, community association, or cluster development. All those things are exceptions. You can't clear those because that's co-ownership. Encumbrance to be released at closing shall include, but not limited to, any liens, mortgages, agreements of sale, financing statements, judgment, child support, alimony, mechanic liens, notices of pendency of action, that's lawsuits, equity share, buyback provisions, repurchase rights, any options, all that sort of thing. And the buyer has the right to review all this for their approval, disapproval, and you move forward or you move backwards. So if a buyer reads the contract and is not satisfied with the, say, the encumbrances that are affecting the property, then they don't have to buy it. So they can cancel the contract and get their money back, and you're back on the market looking for someone else. Can you fix them? Well, yes. You can pay off mortgages, and you can pay your child support, and you can pay your state tax liens or federal tax liens, that sort of thing. If you can't get them released, then you're not going to be able to sell. So again, it's a buyer beware document. However, the contract says that if you're buying this, you're going to buy it free and clear of all liens and encumbrances, with the exceptions of which we've noted already, like sewer easements, that sort of thing. So you get free and clear title. And if escrow cannot clear the things, then you can cancel because they've not lived up to what they're supposed to do or able to do. So that's what a title report is and what it's for and what it does for you. And they are required for all transactions that you go through for land, homes, condos, multi-family, everything. You get a title report to get the ability to review it, approve it, or disapprove it. Okay, hope that was interesting for you. And anything else anyone would like to hear about? Love to hear your comments as I've been getting them. And hope you all have a great day. Thanks so much.